Do you want to get started, Adriana, and then Jessica comes?
Awesome.
Okay. You guys, this is Adriana Quintana.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adriana Quintana. I am a teacher support mentor for mostly secondary math, but also Spanish and some CTE. So we have a little bit of everything. I've been in the profession for almost 3 decades now. So I love it. I love teaching, and today I'll be actually just introducing you to an AI platform. I pronounce it as Eduate, but Dakota, is that how you pronounce it? Okay. So you guys know there's a ton of artificial intelligence platforms out there, but this one I highly recommend it. It was introduced to me by my colleague, Mr. Richardson. He was planning to be here today, but he had a family emergency, so he can't be with us. So I'll be conducting the PD. So this is basically what we're going to cover for today. All right, the agenda. So it's quite a bit of stuff. Just a little disclaimer. My mentees know that I'm big on equity cards. So I know that this month your formal evaluations are approaching, right? So I decided, and if it's okay with you, to embed some of those strategies that your admin wants to see. So I'm at certain points I'm going to treat you like students if you're okay with that. And I know I don't want to disrespect anyone, but the purpose is to model these strategies and on top of also introducing the platform to you. Okay. So are we okay with that? Everybody can see some thumbs up if you're fine with that. Thank you, appreciate it. So that's why I asked you to complete an equity, I call them equity cards, just index cards, but the kids, the students, I have them design one, so they create it, and then I have them write out some information on them to use them as, to check for understanding, as equity cards. That, on top of other methods, like you saw the wheel names and so forth, but I really like the card. So that's the agenda. It is a tight one. Okay, that's my information, and I can share these slides with you guys. And I also, Mr. Richardson is also a great resource, Science TSM. All right, so we'll start with introductions. I told you a little bit about me. I would like for you guys to learn about each other. All right, so we're going to do a Kagan strategy to do that. I want to have you guys stand today. So we're doing the stand-up, hand-up, para. If you guys can, but before you do, let me just go over the instructions. So I would like you guys standing and pairing up with someone that's not from your side. Okay? And then I'll pose a question, and if you guys can start with the person with the shortest hair. Okay? So that goes first, and then you guys can pair. We won't. You'll be going first. We won't do the step repeat just because we want to save some time. But if you guys can, stand up when I say go, and then you're gonna put your hand up and pair up with someone, and then you're gonna share this information here to introduce yourself. So your name, school slide, what are you teaching, and this is the goal for this platform, is to save you time. Okay, that's really the intention. And so I want to ask you, you were given this extra time, and we don't have it there, but hopefully you gain today. How would you spend it? What would you be doing? So you're gonna, in your mind, fantasize. If you had extra time, how would you use it? And again, I'm hoping that this platform will give you that extra time. Okay. So, all right, we ready? All right, so go ahead and stand and find a partner.
Not you, because you're like second.
I saw you coming in with a high five.
Oh, great.
A different table? Yeah.
Oh, yay.
I didn't really do a different table, so that's
Oh,
why.
different side.
Oh, different side? Oh,
Yes, we make it again.
I'm pretty sure it's school side. I don't know, whatever.
I'm in the Dara High School, teaching U.S. history, economics, and I was doing that time of the day. Personal life, from time to go and plan stuff out.
Next period's
Like, oh, your first
Oh, that would be good students.
Right now,
Share, you guys can go back.
So that was it. There was no no, like, yeah.
Mine's a 45.
Thank you, thank you. So I'll be selecting a few. Bree, what would you do with that extra time?
I would get my entire to-do list completed.
Very nice. Wouldn't that be phenomenal, right? Dr. Carr.
Yeah. Most of the time, baby.
Grading, right? Catching up on those grades. We always have to put one more thing in there. Anyone else would like to share what they would do with that extra time?
Like, I think one of the things that we talked about was like maybe 15-20 minutes for like self-care.
Yes.
Of just like,
Absolutely.
you know, whether it just be a cup of coffee or like, I actually did yoga at one of the last conferences and I've never ever done yoga before because it's like super, I don't know, I just had a problem with yoga, but I actually really liked it.
I think it's very important,
Yeah.
especially as new teachers, like that self-care, right? It's going to take us a long way. Thank you so much. And I hope that, again, this platform will give you some of that extra time. All right. So the objective for today. Jessica, can you read that, please?
Yes. Equip teachers with the knowledge to create dynamic, inclusive, and effective learning experiences for students through the innovative features of EduAid AI.
Right, that's how I pronounce it as well. So it is an ambitious agenda now, or objective. It really, they always are for me. But I hope to equip you with some knowledge. It's an introductory, knowledge, but to basically at the end of the day is to engage our students, to provide them with those learning experiences that they will benefit with, or from. What is EduAid? Cynthia, can you read that?
process?
Yeah, it's an AI-powered tool that teachers can use to create unique educational resources more quickly than ever before possible.
I believe that. Thank you. Cynthia Lorena, can you read, how did this get started?
EduAid was created by 2 public school teachers who saw large language models as tools to eliminate teacher burnout and provide access to high quality resources.
But the show of hands, who uses ChatGPT? Right? Like most of us, right? Are there any other platforms that you guys use?
Risk.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. Okay, but what are the differences? Why am I promoting this one instead of ChatGPT? What's so special about this one, right? ChatGPT is open to entire web, all right? EduAid, okay, created by teachers, they just set parameters and they embedded, like research-based, right, strategies and lessons in their library. Okay, so it's totally teacher-directed for educators. In addition, ChatGPT, their interface, it doesn't really lend itself to like lesson planning and so forth, right? It doesn't save your stuff in an organized manner, so EduAid will do that for you. Okay. Again, I think it's an amazing tool. I would like to show you, okay, some of its features. So if you guys can just, look at the screen, I'll model some, some of the features that I'm looking at. Now, my platform is a paid version. I'll have you guys explore the platform a little later, but some of my features won't work on yours, but the majority will. And I'll talk about the limitations a little later and the costs and so forth, but most of it is free. And you'll start here on the homepage, which is the content generator. All right, so this platform allows you to plan your lessons. But not only lessons, like they'll do a whole unit. Okay, so new teachers, just so you know, you might not teach what you're, next year, what you're teaching this year. Welcome to education. So maybe next year they're going to tell you, you know what, you're going to teach AP Calc, right, or Math 2. So, okay, what am I going to do? What if I'm not familiar, right, with that content? So you go to the unit planner, and you can be as vague as you want. Again, I am a math teacher, so I did pre-select mathematics. And I'll go down to, say, 9th grade, because I know my mentees are teaching 9th. So you can change that. And I believe they're solving systems of equations at this time. So you put in your topic. And this topic is very vague, right? So I can go here and enhance it. And it will write it for me in a very nice way, right? Students will be able to solve systems of linear equations using this and that, right? So, and then I can just add to workspace, and it will create an entire unit planner. Okay, because sometimes as teachers, as new teachers, we might not know, okay, what's the best flow for this unit, right? So they're suggesting, okay, you introduce systems, that's your first lesson. It does start with a unit overview. Lesson 2, they're saying, you know what, solve by substitution. That sounds pretty reasonable. And then elimination, and then by graphing, and they do start with, I believe, real world applications up here. And then they give you some ideas, okay, review and assessment, and then a conclusion. Now, this is pretty vague, but it's a nice, scaffold. Okay, so you can do this first, second, and third, so it's a good source. But let's say, okay, well, I want to go into my first lesson. Okay, what I did is I copied their first objective, and I'm going to go to a lesson, like, give me this first lesson. What does that look like? And again, I just copy and paste and add it to the workspace. So this is what's different from ChatGPT. It keeps the first one, and then under it, which it does too, right? But it creates your new lesson. I can delete the top one to say I don't need that anymore for now, and I want to focus on the lesson. When I exit it, it still saved it. Okay, and I'll show you where the saved content is a little later. guess what? Don't admin want the objective posted on the board, right? And sometimes we're like huffing and puffing, and I'm like, I didn't write my objective, right? So it's there in every lesson. Okay, so it saves you time. You already saved like 2-3 minutes trying to open a book or a resource to write your objective. And it's pretty good, I thought. It gives you prior knowledge, and then it tells you, hey, start your lesson this way, right? Present students with systems of linear equations and ask them to identify the variables and constants. And then in real life scenario. And then your direct instruction, do a mini lecture on definitions and characteristics of, again, so they keep going and they do your direct, the independent, some collaborative work, and then your assessments. Okay, and then they even, like, if you want to do some, do questions, how do systems of linear equations model real world situations, right? And then you can have the kids discuss that, and they wrote it for you. You don't have to think about it. Again, let's say that you didn't like it, right? It wasn't the rigor that you want, right? You can always enhance it. You can always edit it. So, go here in the pencil, and you edit. Okay? Or you can copy it. You can't print from here. So you would have to copy and paste it onto a Google Doc. Okay, so that's, it's not perfect yet. So those are the two main things under, actually I'm gonna show you the engagement activities. I think that is also a very powerful tool here. And then I'll keep the same topic. Okay, how can I engage my students? And again, I was looking at some data, some of the survey questions that we asked you guys at the end of the first semester. Just what else, you need help with. And some of the top things were engaging strategies, ELD strategies, and then classroom management. So those were the top 3. So here they are, the engagement strategies. And they list them all. You can do a quick quiz. You can do a matching game, race to the board, an interactive poll. So things that I probably wouldn't think of, and this will do the thinking for you. What do you rather, and so forth. So these are the top 3 that I like under the planning. But again, you guys will have time to explore them all. All right. I'm going to go to the next little tab here, information objects. Under this tab, I really like let me see here. Yeah, so talk about ELD strategies, because that's what you guys said you needed more help in. All right, so it will create sentence frames for you. And we can keep scrolling down and start exiting, I agree with this because, or I disagree, and you can just print them, put them on the desk, and you're good to go, right? Also on these task cards, if you turn them around, we also printed those, sentence frames for you there, so we have those mats that we can use as well. Let me see here, if you want to create slides, I know someone was saying if I had extra time, I would do my slideshows. So your Google Slides, there you go. This can help you with that. Vocabulary list for those EL learners as well. I'm going to start closing some of these. Just look at their list. And math teachers, take a look at what you think. I know you guys are teaching this. Is it pretty accurate? Linear equation, right? System of equations, that's what we're solving. The solution, what is the solution to a system? And then the method, right? So there's not a lot of vocab on this unit, but isn't that pretty accurate? Pretty good. And again, they'll never replace it, right? We always have to, and again, that's the disclaimer, you have to check the validity of what's giving you, because at the end of the day, it's a machine, right? So always look at the work. Another thing it has, the independent practice, right? it can create a worksheet. Let's look at the worksheet. And, oh, I didn't want to do that, but okay. I'll generate that. And here's the worksheet. Again, for math, I wasn't too impressed, but hey, it's a starting point, okay? Again, you can check the rigor of the problems that they assign, the application problems, and guess what? There's a transform button here. I know this is a lot, but I'm gonna give you some time to explore this. Let's say that you want to translate it for your newcomer, okay? So let's translate it to Spanish. And it will give you the translation. There you go, Miguel. For your newcomers, right? So, I mean, again, we would have to check it to see if it's good. If it is not, then if you have to change some words, you just edit. Okay? I think this is a time saver. One of my favorites is the cooperative learning tab. All right? And I go straight to the Kagan. And, you know, because you're like, oh, I know a couple. I know Pear-Share, right? Jigsaw. But what else is out there, right? And this will not only give you a list, it will tell you how to do it. Step by step. You know, you don't have to go and research again. Again, you guys mentioned in your survey you wanted to increase engagement. All right, so always include, you know, a Kagan strategy in your lesson, right? Well, have them be Pear-Share. Have them do Jigsaw. You know, tell me divide the class, you know, do this and that. Number heads together, rally coach. Have you heard of those? Round table, right? And that's what these cards also will help you, right? Organize all these activities here. I know I'm going fast. Any questions about the content generator? And again, I just went to my favorite ones. The possibilities are endless. I know Mr. Dakota has used this quite a bit, so please feel free to chime in. Okay, I'm going to go to the second big thing, is the teaching assistant. You have a virtual teacher assistant. Okay, let's say as a math person, I don't like writing emails. I don't like writing letters of recommendation, right? Well, this will do it for you. All right, so let me say that I want to send a notice to the parents. Students are starting a unit on solving systems. Right? All right. So create an email that will go out to the parents when it's thinking I can. Okay, there you go. I'm to inform you that our upper class students will be starting a new unit, and that's the topic, right? Please support me. And guess what? Well, those Spanish-speaking parents, right? Translate it. Or maybe you want to communicate that their student is not doing well, right? And so just type in some keywords and it will do a letter for you. I don't know, I found that to be super saving, right? Syllabus starter. If you're going to teach a new course, like AP Calc, and you have no idea, oops, and these are for seniors, huh? For 12th grade students. You know what? Give me an outline of a syllabus, and then I will go and modify it. Look at what it says. Designed to provide students with a strong foundation in differential and integral calculus. It covers limits, derivatives, applications of derivatives, and so forth. Pretty spot on. That's what calculus is about, right, Dr. Hunt? And then, well, you can put in what textbook you're using, the grading, I don't know. I thought for new teachers this was pretty cool. What do you guys think? Letter of recommendation, and so forth. Okay, I'm going to keep going. How do I make this accessible to all students, right? That remember, like in your classes, you have to differentiate for all your students, right? So that's what this accessibility tab will do. Let's say I have a student that's hyperactive, right? How can I accommodate for him or her, right? It will give you a ton of ideas. What if I have to create a behavior intervention plan? Because, you know, a kid isn't on IEP, and I still have to differentiate for that kid, right? So all you have to do here is, I sound like a salesperson, I'm sorry, but.
You're selling me, I'm sold.
They should pay me.
I already have my soul. Take my money.
I'm gonna send them my video and have them sponsor me. So hyperactive student that cannot focus, blah, 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 right? You can enhance it. Give me some accommodations for this kid. Yeah, be sure to place them in the right seats. Frequent breaks. Oh, I didn't think of that. You know, use fidget tools. Okay, I'm gonna get them a little fidget tool. I don't know. I'm not a special ed expert, so this is pretty darn good for me, right? And so on, right? You can do a behavior plan for them. Or let's say you have those language arts people. Let's say you have a reading comprehension, and you just have that one kid that, you know, is reading, I don't know, 5th grade level, right? You can decrease the Lexwell level or increase it if you have someone that actually reads and is ahead. I think this is time. It's Caesar's time. Wellness, social and emotional learning. Let's say you have that 6th period class, because I had it, where kids had all kinds of issues, you know, and I needed to do like a circle, right? And I needed some ideas of what to do. Well, guess what? It's here, right? Social emotional activities, some icebreakers, some team building, and again, it will save you a lot of time. You can always edit anything, you know, to make it fit to your class, to your students. All right, I'm gonna keep going.
Adriana, can I say something?
Yes.
It's helping a teacher on something, but they're a highly purchase and relevant to students, even locally, but like, and so you can even ask, like, how does this lesson impact real world situations or whatever, and it gives you like, I think this is pretty cool. So you could even adjust it to what your staff is asking, your admin's asking.
Yeah. Probably the same teachers. Anything else, Mr. Dakota, that you would add in here?
No, I played around with a bunch of them until I found the ones that I liked, and you kind of find your go-tos, and you hang on to them.
Exactly. All right, here is, it's called the feedback law. I don't know if this is too much for Mal, but definitely for language arts. Let's say,
as far as like when you're constantly, those of you that have been using it, if you're constantly asking kind of the same content, does it kind of adapt or get better as you use it?
The way I would put it is you get better at using it because you find the better way to format what exactly you're asking for. Because you'll find times where you punch something in and it's a little way off from what you want, and then you kind of try and refine it, and then eventually you kind of start to learn how, based on what you want to get, how should you phrase it or ask it. So I would say that you probably get better at using it versus it adapting to you.
Oh, okay.
so which is the same for all the AIs, right? Platforms, pretty much, yeah. So here, let's say a student turns in an essay or, you know, a paragraph, and you want to give feedback, right? Again, that time, you have to read them, right? No, you copy it. That's the thing, you can't upload the document, but you copy their paragraph, you paste it here, and it will check the spelling, grammar, it will go into deeper mechanics of writing, and so forth. So it's like these embedded rubrics that they'll use to give them feedback. So again, that's a time saver, I think. I haven't tried it for math. I don't think it will do it, unless, you know, you're doing some reflective activity, but you guys can try it out. In addition to the feedback, here you have again this chat box here. So it's like ChatGPT. Here I asked something here. Oh yes, I asked, okay, so let's say that I'm starting the systems unit and it says to teach matrices, okay? And I'm like, okay, what are the kids gonna miss out if I say, you know what if I skip matrices? How is that gonna affect my students, right? And sometimes you're planning in the middle of the night and you're like, okay, I can't call my colleague, right? So what if I ask it, right? What will it say? What are they gonna miss out on? So if I am teaching systems of equations, and I decide to skip matrices, okay, how will that affect? Students learning? And I guess I can ask it a lot better, but I'll just say that, see what it says. Okay, what did it answer? So it says, skipping matrices can simplify the learning process for students who struggle with abstract concepts. And that's really why I would skip it, because I typically taught co-taught. So they're my students who were special ed. But but there were some that were ready for it, right? Focus on other methods, so that's true. The negative effects. Matrices are important for solving systems, because really I knew the answer, but I was checking it. Yeah, it limits the size, the amount of equations that you can input, and then, it helps you with, I think it's linear algebra, right, Mika? So you would be, skipping that, but I would definitely not skip it for an honors class, but for a regular class it's okay. So again, you have your own little assistant here, you can ask the questions, and it can, I know, Mr. Dakota, you use it quite a bit. You want to expand on that, or?
Yeah, I call it, it's like you're having a PLC with yourself. So if you have an idea that or an end goal that you want to kind of flesh out, you can just kind of ask it a bunch of questions, and then you pick and pull pieces that you like. I use it a lot for generating like reading content. So I teach science, so sometimes it's hard to scour the internet for like articles that specifically just for what I want. And it only ends up being one paragraph of that thing anyways. So sometimes I'll give it a paragraph and help it expand it into an informational object to do like a text questions for or whatever. So to help generate content for yourself as well, or supplementary resources or anything like that.
And lastly is the assessment builder. Again, for math, I wasn't too fond of it, but I found some okay stuff. I just, type again systems of equations, and then let's say I want some multiple choice, and it's gonna generate it here at the bottom, and then so that you have control of putting it in the workspace or not. Okay, so I probably wouldn't, I don't know, it depends. Put the first one, maybe the second one I will. And so you go to the plus button, and then it will add it to your workspace. But let's say I want to decrease the difficulty. You can do that also, with a click. All right, and then, okay, it's better, so then I add it. And that's a multiple choice, right? So now let's say I want a short answer or match or true false. Right, it can generate that. Again, for math, I tried several topics, and I think, they were okay, but at least it's a starting point, right? And then you can add it there. And the saved content, so everything I've been generating, so you go under SC, and everything has been saved for me, and I can go in and change the title. I can, I can load it again in the workspace. I can create a copy. When they say move it to class, you can you can organize your information, your items that you created, you can sort it in classes. That's what they meant by class. It's not an actual class of students, correct? Yeah, so it's just to organize your work. All right, so again, the possibilities are endless. I gave you a math example. On the slides, there's a language arts example, but I would like to give you time now, at least 10-15 minutes, for you guys to explore it, okay? And I would like you to share one feature that you think I could go tomorrow to my class and use it, okay? And we'll be sharing that. Let me go back to my presentation. Any questions before I move on? All right. So on the slideshow, I kind of gave, you know, all the things, all the capabilities for each of the tabs, the content generator, the teaching assistant, the feedback, and so forth.
Do we have the slides? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'll be sharing this with you.
Oh, okay.
All right, so after you explore, you're gonna go to this Jamboard and create one post-it or sticky note. And are you guys familiar with Jamboard? No? Okay, so you're gonna click on it and it's gonna take you here. And I created an example for you. So I say I foresee using the cooperative learning feature to increase student engagement. That's how I would use it. So you go here where it says sticky note. You just click it and then you type. You can select your color. You know, let's say you want to use it for your syllabus. Right? And then you press save. And it's there, you can move it. And so that's going to be our little exit ticket. So go ahead at this time and go to eduate.ai. It will have you sign in with Google. You will have access to the free version of it. And we'll talk about the limitations of the free version. Oh, you're in there. Awesome.
I'm trying to live
My-
the rec.
My overachiever. Have they asked you for one already?
I've done 24 students so far. It's pretty bad.
Yes, that is bad. Oh, next year. Oh, so it has an enrichment tab? So you scroll under subject, if you scroll down to enrichment, they might have some stuff for you.
No, you have to pay for that.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Everything else.
oh yeah, you're there. There you
Sometimes
go.
when I stare at the board, just think about like, okay, what should be my objective for like this?
Probably PE might be under enrichment.
Probably.
And then you would type, if you scroll down.
Yeah, I think you
Select the lesson.
thank you for saying that. You can cut that out.
Okay, here you can type it on top.
What are you touching next?
That's what I'm trying to see, because if I could upload like an activity, to Spanish,
5 different
that saves me a
subjects,
bunch.
Yeah, topic, just one topic.
Well, mine, because we got to jail license. We
Oh.
used to do like short stories.
You could be more specific, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you figured out if you could upload it as a text?
You did?
Can you? Have you figured that out?
Yeah, I think you would have to do language arts.
I think you've been.
Or enrichment, I don't know if it would be enrichment. And maybe translate for
Say,
Spanish.
can I
For the
upload?
language.
I think she said you can't. But ask it. Say, can I upload an essay?
Well, I got mine. Could I upload it for the interview? Please tell me how she does.
Yeah, I
Send
didn't
my this document and put her name with the student assignment.
I did that with, I was doing first.
Oh, that's your
That's how I
magic.
got my questions for
But I
both.
have access to the other
Because I was trying to do questions, like higher level doc.
Oh, I do.
Okay,
That's
questions.
right.
And it came up with suggestions for from the text, also came up with questions for how the students reflect on their own lives and compare to them. And then it was like, there was like one activity, like, where did it stop?
I think they were using breasts.
They're probably gonna have the other day because it's like something other. But every time I go to use the tools, it's like I'm on the text and the tool bar like razor and I'll say tools and I'm like I feel like it should see the text, but it doesn't see the text. But if I'm brisk, all you gotta do is brisk it. You tell it what you want and all sorts of stuff. You haven't used it yet? It's super nice. I would probably start with that one if you can't upload the text here. Otherwise, because that's not a site you can just go get online. I think that was created by her. So it's not like you go get the article somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like you, maybe you could link it. You could maybe try and link it and say, find ethos, pathos, logos in this text.
So
Maybe if you link it, maybe it'll do it. You know, like link your text. But it doesn't mean
Oh, Pixar.
So you can have an answer your question, or if you want to answer your question.
Oh, you have to read
Yeah, no, I just did that. I did the enhance first, and then I was like, no, that's not the question.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So again, I did answer repeat, I go back.
I noticed that sometimes we answered.
See, I don't know if it's like a scope of seasons, but I like this where like it's the difficulty of like objectives, you know, like the DLK levels. So like my students, math one kids, yeah, so I'll probably write something like this, but once we like start advancing to the then it takes me the harder analysis for like the DLK levels.
Well, no, it's
Oh, different about So hopefully you'll find something that will save your time.
yeah, no, I've already tried to
She has a parameter.
One quote, maybe if something would come up with a unit or something,
Different question.
just see if it has like, I feel like
And then she just literally just the one paragraph, copy and paste it, right there in the back. There were just a few things that she actually kind of like, she had to read it. But for the most part, again, like he said,
that's why it's all the
she
way
would
over
like,
here.
you're not old.
My eyes are.
I really like it.
I guess it turned 59. She never really knew to do, so, and it was considered for the kids.
Especially in the modern.
Good for you. Yes.
The one class, she's like, copy, look it over, plug it.
I know that it doesn't really
Like just put like a comment on the
Yeah, something I like it for that.
Yes.
I'm checking board is blank right now, and now I can like look it up on 30 seconds.
Instead like the scoring is a little off.
That's the last one I'm writing, you know, it's like I need to get all my supplies ready to go, and, but admin wants objectives, so, there, you know.
I feel like for me, it's like, I know what I'm saying, what I'm learning,
Which
so like,
they give you feedback, you're not getting
but then like, I was an EL
And I
putting it all together and assembling from like, what do I exactly want to say, just looking at all these.
Exactly. And don't you think that, don't you think that our upper division math classes also, you know, made us like worse writers because everything's abbreviated and you don't have to, maybe it's like Smiley said, it's like the least amount of characters that you use, the better your proof was.
literally she put,
It's like, okay.
these statements have this, give this feedback. And it literally was like, so those are just some of the things that.
Oh, okay.
I'll regenerate it.
So
If you're kind of like, oh, I have this rough idea, and you're kind of fleshing it out, all of a sudden it's 12.
No, right? And then where do we start?
and it had to have specific
That's the
things
one.
in it, taking class time.
But I will say what I paid for
Yes,
it more than made up for.
exactly. Did you find some stuff for you?
Yeah, no, definitely.
They had invoice for one.
And that's all the cheap prices.
It was a sale, I was like, normal.
It was actually, it's actually pretty good. Like I said, she's.
Teachers, I'm gonna interrupt you for a second because I know you guys are going crazy on this, and this is great. I need to tell you a limitation because before you continue just exploring, The free version only gives you a chance of generating 15 things in them per month. So if you already generated 10,
It was my free trial.
for the month.
January's almost over, right?
So that's the disclaimer.
What does it cost?
Okay, so the cost is excuse me, about $50 for the year. So it's not bad, $50 for the entire year, and you can do monthly installments like $4 and whatever cents. Or you can have your admin, and I'm still recording them. Maybe, pay for it.
That's $4 a month. That's a Starbucks once a month.
Exactly.
That's cheap.
Yeah, really?
Alright. So you guys can maybe tell your partner, your shoulder partner, okay, just the one thing that you guys will be using tomorrow, using this platform.
Alright, objectives. I'll walk the lane. That was really good, actually.
This will be great. Probably.
You're stressed about it? I wish she would get more critical feedback. But for me, I haven't heard it yet. I just did feedback from some audience. I don't
I wonder if you could use ChatGPT.
I was reading this feedback one.
So like the two things that's a slower pace. It's quite through it and it does make it fast. So I
So make sure like add that in. I don't have to use it. Or like write it so that whatever.
There's so much AI.
Whatever you want.
So many things I haven't heard of.
So if I just put solving system, it will generate the
Unless you like knew exactly what you wanted to type it all out.
Alright, teachers, I placed the slides in the Google Classroom, the Classroom Management Google Classroom, and there you can access the Jamboard or you can scan the code either way. So this would be like your exit ticket. So you always want to have in your lessons closure. Okay, so how do you know if the students met the objective, right? And my objective was to equip you with knowledge on how to create these things, right, on Educate. So I asked you for one thing, so if you guys can go on the Jamboard and create a sticky, that way I know that, oh, should I put it back up? That the objective is. So the slides, okay, oh, the slides or things like that. They're on your phone.
There's a little thing on the side, on the left hand.
It's like a paper.
So I like this Jamboard. It holds all my data virtually. So, or you can physically give them a sticky note and have them put it on the door on the way out. or leave it on their desk. That's another way to do an exit ticket. Jammer? Oh, is it?
That's what we're told on.
Yes. You also have like tablet and stuff like that, so we're to this.
Still need it.
You're like maxes out, like always something that's coming out at one time.
So Daniel, what's one feature that you're gonna use tomorrow?
I asked the question like, how do I get more student involvement? And it gave me like a ton of examples on to use in there. So I'm just gonna kind of pick a few of those and use those. I thought it was really, and it's so simple things that
That you wouldn't have.
that I wouldn't have thought of. That it doesn't require any materials or anything. Like it's just asking a question a certain way, or doing a certain activity, but it doesn't require a whole lot of planning.
And why is that powerful to engage the kids? Sorry, I'm putting you on the
Yeah,
spot.
I noticed there are certain things like, for me, it's when we're in the shop, yeah, there's no problem. They're full of energy, they're involved and everybody's doing something. And in the classroom, it's hard to be engaging every single person. So it's difficult to, get the point across to everybody. And, there's certain times where, I usually crack jokes a lot in the classroom and that usually gets everybody going, but there's those certain ones where they're just, going out home and they're tired or they don't want to hear it or whatever, and it's just, they don't care to listen, and it's hard to, get everybody involved.
Yeah.
So, using some of those examples to get like every student involved, and they're actually doing something, even though we're in the classroom, they're still doing something physical, and whether it involves movement or not.
And learning from each other.
Yeah.
That way, they don't depend on you only, right? Excellent. Thank you. Juan, what do you think? One thing that you would use?
Probably the learning objectives, because we get informally evaluated, and it's like the first thing I remember when I see my evaluator is like I forgot to write on the board.
Exactly.
Something I can do really quick.
I'm with you on that one. I will type just keywords and it's done for me, right? Thank you, Juan. Let's see here. Oh, Amy? I think I called you again. What are you going to use tomorrow?
So one of the things that I was looking at is the assessment tools, because sometimes it's really difficult for me to just kind of come up with the CFUs for a text. My question, I think, for this is like, is there a way to upload the text that we're using so that it can kind of help generate, or how do I do that?
You would have to copy and paste.
So
I don't think you can import anything, from my understanding.
So like, say for instance, if I wanted it to create like assessment questions based on a text that we're reading, how would it know, like how would I do that?
Is it a text like from?
It's on a Google Doc, but it's like a text created. So it was taken from an interview that was on YouTube, but there's only sections of it, it's not the whole interview. It's like text transcript from portions of it.
Can you copy it? Are you able to copy it? Oh, as long as you're able to copy it, and then you can just paste it.
Where would you paste it to?
So where would
In your question.
Oh, so you would paste it and say, generate pair share activities.
Exactly.
Our students will be reading all the text
and create this for me.
Create
so if you go into the chat, it's like ChatGPT, but it's only zooming into educational resources.
Wait, so not in like here in the topic keyword thing. I don't put it there.
You can try, but I think I would
put it
probably guide you to put it into the
where you're talking.
Yeah, the Edu8 chat.
Oh, okay.
And then give it a command. What do you want it to do with that? You can try that.
So in order to chat, I have to upgrade to Pro.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, it's not? Okay, so talk to your admin tomorrow.
So since we're all here, we all get $50 certificates for
Are you making commission off
You
this?
can ask my boss.
Hey, I mean, you take class, you
I
get
think you are getting something like that,
For all the
'cause
new
you signed a timesheet, right?
This is true, this is true, this is true.
Okay, well, again, I see, you know, a lot of things, a vocabulary list, letters of recommendation, I know those are time consuming. What do you guys think? Do you think we met the objective? Do you think you're a little bit better equipped? You know, with some knowledge? Can I get some thumbs up or down? Do you think we met our objective for today? All right, so I'm gonna mark it off. All right. Again, those are some ideas that's just so that you can, you know, create closure for your lesson, right? You start with the objective, you end with your objective, you have your exit ticket. On the slides, we'll go back to them. I also included just the learner benefits. I know it's beneficial to us, but definitely for our students, that's the main goal, right? We have the language arts example, and there's other videos on YouTube that you guys can reference, but this one's there. And lastly, just one last thing, if you guys can give me some feedback. Okay, how can we make our PDs better? You guys can access that there. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for being here on a rainy day. And don't leave just yet. I have 3 Starbucks cards. And
They're all staying now.
throughout.
I had to get it close.
I can put it, but I said
Oh,
yes,
wait,
give me permission.
I'm on the
Oh, so you can copy it? I didn't hyperlink it. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hyperlink.
But those slides, and it's not hyperlinked, you guys just copy it.
Oh, I
and
apologize.
paste
I
it.
didn't hyperlink it.
That's my,
Can you,
the picture on my phone just said I didn't have permission.
it's hyperlinked.
Oh, you might need
Just
to
copy and
be
paste it into
logged
a-
in to your Madeira.
You clicked it? It worked for you? Okay.
Copy and paste it into a,
Yeah, sorry.
what do you call it? Search bar. It comes up. Yeah.
Teachers, continuous check for understanding, right? Have your popsicle sticks going, have your equity cards going. Or the wheel of names. Let's raffle something. All right. And this is totally planned, right? As you're doing your survey, I'm raffling gift cards. I'm writing you. All right. So, enter? No? You click the wheel. I'll click the wheel. Thank you. It's only been a year and I'm losing my touch. All right, ready? Thank you for being here. Close.
My wife would be happy.
And one last card. Cynthia, yay. It's gonna be Cynthia or Jessica, so this year. And then Trisha suggested, if you guys like the mats, we can raffle one set. If you guys have like groups of 4 and you like the mats, we can create a set for you. Is anyone interested? Mats? No? No? Well, thank you again for your time and your attention. We're good, Trisha? Anything else? Good? Alright, I think you guys are free. thank you.
Thank you, Dakota. Are you,
Thank you, Adriana.
Trish, are you dismissing everybody?
You're welcome.
Okay.
Always love
Why don't you get a review?
Thank you.